Good morning, Shanaz, and thank you so much for joining us, and thank you very much for sharing some of your experiences. Um,
Mhm.
would you like to introduce yourself today?
Morning, my name is Shanaz. I'm a service user at
And
Beds.
TEDS is the Tower Hamlets Early Detection Service.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay. So we've got some questions for you, and we're really interested to hear about kind of your personal experiences and what recovery has been like, and also what
Mm.
using FEDS as a service has been like for you, and any suggestions that you might have for people out there. Okay. So the first question we wanted to ask was, what values do you think are essential for an early detection service?
Um, from what I've seen from Beds, I believe quality improvement is very important. So constant feedback and improvement and being open to different opinions and perspectives. Mental health is a very broad topic and it affects everyone of all races, religions, genders, and ages. I feel we should always remember that sometimes our Western understanding of mental health may not be applicable or helpful to certain communities, especially in a diverse community like Tower Hamlets. I believe an early detection service aim should always be to help service users to the best of their abilities whilst constantly seeking to improve it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Some excellent points there
Thank
around,
you.
so how sometimes our Western models of support might not be applicable for certain groups of
Hmm.
people, many groups of people, in fact,
Hmm.
and very true for Tower Hamlets, yeah, which is very diverse. Thank you, Shanaz. Um, Next question. What do you think are the barriers that might prevent or stop young people from accessing help, and how might that be improved in your view?
I believe there's a, a misconception around mental health that young people hold. I believe it's this is the initial barrier for young people to access help. The stereotype that mental health workers don't care about service users because it's their job. In addition, there's this taboo around mental health, which is still very prevalent in all communities. Yeah, and the thought of what others would say about them receiving this treatment or help might deter them from accessing it just initially. But okay, so aside from that, if someone did want to access help, um, I believe it's difficult if universities and educational institutes don't provide a means for them. I feel as though there should be a better and improved network between mental health services and educational institutes and even workplaces, perhaps even like youth clubs. In addition, these resources should be allocated to those who need it. A lot of services, I believe, are misallocated, thus not being of benefit to the user, and this might leave them with a negative or unhelpful experience. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And again, lots of really important points there. What really jumped out at me was increased connectivity between youth-focused
Mhm.
mental health services and other centres where young people will be in contact
Mhm.
with, like schools, faith centres, other
Mhm.
community groups. Yeah, really
Mhm.
important.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Shanaz, what to your mind does recovery mean to you?
Recovery to me is a constant journey. I think it took me a while to come to this like conclusion or belief. I don't believe that one can just go into a therapy session and come out completely like cured. There's a misconception about mental health having a start and an end.
Mhm.
To me, it's a constant journey of betterment and coping. There are highs and lows, but you keep trying through applying everything you've learned and constantly seeking out to learn more. Um, the learning and journey never stops. There's almost a sense of comfort in knowing that I don't have to reach a state of perfection. It's quite relieving. Like I feel like there's a burden lifted off my shoulders. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, really interesting and very well put. So
Thank you.
for you, recovery is very much a journey, and you found comfort
Yeah.
in that. Yeah.
It's quite relieving to know that I don't have to be perfect. I don't always have to be happy and jolly. It's okay to have low days. as long as I know that I'm trying my best, I
Yeah,
guess that's all that really matters. And yeah, and there's
yeah.
no, I feel like there's even a stereotype of life having to be perfect. Like you have to, everything has to be in a set order, but it doesn't. And yeah, you can live the way you want, and yeah, it's all a journey. I think I started rambling, sorry.
Absolutely not. I think very, very much words to live by, Shanaz. Thank you. Okay. So when you think about it, how have areas in your life like work, socializing, or education, how have they gotten better since you've accessed feds?
I think they've improved tremendously, like all areas. Since I joined Feds, my social life has improved significantly. My communication is what I believe improved the most. Um, like I'm someone who hates confrontation in like all forms. Yet over time, I've found myself interacting more closely and consistently with my loved ones,
Mhm.
so my family and my friends. I understand that they're a huge pillar of support for me. Therefore, I try to constantly improve my relationship with them. Um, yeah, in terms of work, I've also seen improvement in being able to work well in teams. I still struggle with assertiveness and like being fully comfortable at work and showing my personality, but I still understand that there's highs and lows, and I'm still working towards improving that. Um, yeah. In terms of academics and educations, I believe I've gained the academic confidence I once lost. Working with feds slowly dismantled my fear towards education and being able to succeed academically. I can say that my focus has improved, and there's a decreased sense of like general fear around academics and writing essays. Yeah, all in all, I think like all of these areas in my life have improved substantially since joining Feds, which I'm really grateful for. Yeah.
It sounds like you put a lot of work in to your own recovery as a journey, and
Mhm.
also slowly dismantling your fears around
Yeah.
education and boosting your confidence. Fantastic.
Thank you.
And I wonder, Shanaz, currently, what are you putting into practice that kind of tends to help you most with your mental health, do you think?
Mhm. Okay, so this is something that I never like used to view as important, but it's self-compassion. I've started applying that the most very recently as well. I don't think it takes a lot of practice and time to to open yourself up to yourself and allow yourself to be compassionate. I believe it's important to acknowledge one's past and experiences and to accept yourself as you are. In our darkest moments, having the ability to reassure yourself is a life saving practice, and I strive to constantly apply this. I find myself being a lot kinder to myself, and this helps with negative thoughts. Um, negative thoughts have a knock-on effect on my work and mood. Thus, I feel as though I'm able to function better. This has also allowed me to learn more about myself, where my thoughts come from, why I behave or feel a certain way, etc. It's relieving to be able to understand my own emotional triggers. Yeah, I feel as though like a heavy burden has been lifted off of me. And also, I think self compassion, I always remember it with the example that if it was a friend or family or a co-worker who came to me with certain problems or something, I would have the same compassion towards them. So I don't see why I shouldn't apply the same compassion to myself. I feel like there's almost a sense of me believing that I'm undeserving of the compassion, but that's very untrue. And it's a thought that I still constantly battle with, but I'm happy that I've become aware of that thought. Yeah.
Thank you, Shanaz. I can identify with a lot of that, and I think there are many of us alive in the world today who struggle with self kindness. It's often easier to
Hmm.
be kinder to others than to ourselves
Yeah.
for exactly the reasons or the barriers that you mentioned. Kind of some beliefs about not being worthy or deserving.
Hmm.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, so in terms of kind of your journey of recovery and what you've put into practice, what do you think is the most important thing you've discovered about yourself while you've been in contact with the Tower Hamlets Early Detection Service?
I think there are like a lot of things that I've learned about myself, but the most important one has to be that I'm a very diligent person. I've learned that I don't give up easily, and I have like an insatiable passion for learning and growing and applying the things that I've learned. I've come to learn that I'm a very creative person and I love to explore this creativity. For me, it's actually quite therapeutic. Yeah, I also I've I always knew this, but I love my own company a lot. Especially in lockdown, I've learned that like at times it got very lonely and sometimes I felt kind of overwhelmed and underwhelmed. But I've learned to love my own company and to not care as much about other people's opinions of me and to live for myself. However, I've also learned that I do enjoy the company of those who I love, and I'm learning to balance the two. Yeah, overall, I've discovered that I'm actually an incredibly strong person and quite a passionate and smart individual, and I should appreciate myself a lot more. And I believe there's no harm in appreciating yourself. I feel like sometimes myself, I might think that I'm mixing it up with arrogance, but it's not. It's just appreciation, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a very healthy mindset to have.
I couldn't agree with you more. There is no harm in appreciating yourself. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for today, Shanaz. Were there any parting or final thoughts or reflections you wanted to share?
I can't think of anything
Yeah,
right now. I have like
great.
everything written down.
Thank you so much for your inspirational words today.
Thank you. Okay.